Halfway through an airplane descent, your ear can go from stuffed with invisible cotton to suddenly pop. And that tiny click is basically a sleepy pressure door in your head cracking open for 1 second. Welcome back to Tidbits. Today we're peeking into the ear, a very small doodle apartment building where the eardrum is the flexible front window and the eustachian tube is a fussy little door marked staff only that usually refuses to answer unless the timing is right. So no, that pop is not your ear breaking. It is not your ear unclogging like a sink, even though it really does feel like someone pulled a drain plug in your skull. What's happening is much tidier and, honestly, a little sillier. Air pressure on one side of your eardrum has stopped matching the air pressure on the other side, and the little staff-only door has to open long enough for both sides to agree. The eardrum itself is a thin, flexible membrane stretched between the air in your outer ear canal and the little pocket of air in your middle ear. Behind it are 3 tiny bones, the hammer, anvil and stirrup, which sounds like a hardware store for mice, but they need that membrane to vibrate cleanly so sound can travel inward. If the eardrum is bowed inward or outward, like cling wrap sucked tight over a bowl, it cannot wiggle as nicely. The apartment window wants to hang flat, it does not want weather shoving it from one side. And that is where airplanes, elevators and mountain roads start being rude. When a plane climbs, the pressure outside your ear drops, but the air trapped in the middle ear room may still be at the old pressure, so it pushes the eardrum outward. When a plane descends, or you ride a deep elevator down or drive down from a mountain, outside pressure rises and presses the eardrum inward. That is the full, muffled, someone is leaning on my ear window feeling. The pushy weather guest is at the glass, and the little staff-only door is still asleep. Here is the weird part. Your ear pop starts closer to your throat than your ear hole. The eustachian tube does not run out through the visible opening of your ear. It runs from the middle ear down to the back of your nose and throat area, like a hidden hallway in the apartment building. Most of the time it stays closed on purpose, because the middle ear is a delicate little room and does not need every cough, sniffle and throat gust wandering in uninvited. But if the door is closed on purpose, what actually jiggles the doorknob? Swallowing and yawning do. When you swallow, or do one of those huge airplane yawns that makes you look like a tired goldfish, muscles around your soft palate and throat tug on the eustachian tube for a moment. The doorknob labelled swallow yawn turns, the sleepy pressure door cracks open. Then air molecules scurry politely either into the middle ear or out of it, depending on which side needs help, until the pressure evens out. That pop is the eardrum relaxing back towards its normal position as the pressure on both sides balances. Not a disaster, more like a curtain snapping loose after being held against a window. One moment it is pulled tight and grumpy, the next it can hang flat again and get back to its actual job, catching sound instead of arguing with the weather. Gum does not magically fix your ear, it just keeps annoying the tiny pressure door until it opens. Chewing makes you swallow more often, and yawning stretches that same neighbourhood of muscles, so on a plane, those repeated tiny openings help the middle ear keep up with changing cabin pressure, instead of saving all the drama for one big pop later. Very practical, very office hours energy. And if you have a cold or allergies, the whole hallway can get swollen or sticky, which makes the fussy door harder to open. That is why ear pressure can feel extra stubborn when your nose is already running its own chaotic side business. The mechanism is still the same, the door is just crankier, possibly wearing a tiny bathrobe and refusing to check the peephole. So the next time your ear pops in an elevator, on a plane, or halfway down a winding road, you are not hearing damage, you are feeling pressure negotiation. Both sides of the eardrum finally shook hands, the flexible window sighed flat, and somewhere in the ear, the tiny pressure door gave a proud little thumbs up under a handwritten note that says, "Equal pressure equals happy eardrum." If you've got another ordinary body weirdness you want added to our sketchbook, strange noises, reflexes, fluids, tiny doors and tubes, send it my way, and as always, stay curious.